I am about to do a silk press on my client. I'm using this Silk Recharge Spray Serum. It's infused with sea moss. And this is just kind of like a heat protectant to kind of prep the hair. So I did spray this throughout all the client's hair and I detangled with it. And I put her hair in Bantu knots just to kind of hold in the moisture of the hair. Because sometimes like when you silk pressing natural hair, sometimes it draws out. So me putting it in Bantu knots kind of preserved that moisture. That's my spray bottle of water too, and just in case I need it. But it preserved the moisture until I get to that section, because you don't want to blow dry like dry hair. You still want it to be slightly damp. And that second product I sprayed was the S3 spray. I just sprayed it as well on the top. I just been using both of those products lately on my clients. I've just been liking the combination. Normally, sometimes I'll do just the S3 spray, but I've noticed with incorporating the other product with those who maybe haven't had a silk press in a while, it kind of helps just that silk press lasts just a little bit longer. So I did this for this client. She's fairly new client. This is her second visit coming to see me. I wish I would have showed y'all her hair the first time she came. She got a silk press by me in November. So this is her second silk press. She may just want to get a good trim on her hair. So we definitely silk pressed it out today and we gave her a good nice trim. Now this client, she has very like thin strands. I know her hair looks, kind of full. I don't know if y'all can tell, but she has very thin hair strands. So as y'all see, I'm actually using this round brush. And I'll be switching back and forth between like the round brush and probably a powder brush. But if you have like thin strands and you want your hair to appear just a little bit fuller, if you're doing a silk press, the round brush is going to do it for you. The round brush is going to definitely give you that volume that you're looking for and just make it appear just to have a little bit more bounce, a little bit more fullness. So that's what I'm doing to blow dry her hair out. And I want to make sure during this blow dry that I'm getting her hair as straight as I humanly possibly can, okay? Now, y'all see this black spray bottle? It's just a black mister spray bottle. All it really has in it is water. And I do that sometimes, like if I feel like if I'm blow drying, if it's kind of getting a little bit harder to detangle, I'll take that mister bottle and I just mist the hair. Or if the hair just got dry, it just helps with just detangling the hair and just making the blow dry process a little bit smoother. I always say this tip a lot is when you're blow drying, if you want your hair to like not frizz up and not be flying everywhere, look at the motion I'm holding the blow dryer. I'm holding it in a downward position. This really helps with making sure when you're done with your silk press, your hair is just not like flying everywhere. Sometimes, like if I'm just doing like twist out or, some flat twists, I don't really care about the direction of the blow dryer I'm holding it. But if I'm doing a silk press, I try to be intentional and make sure I'm holding it in a vertical section. So now, as you see, I have jumped into the flat iron part. And I'm actually using a little bit larger sections than I typically would not use versus somebody with thicker hair. My clients who have more like thick, full, dense hair, I will use thinner, like paper thin sections. In this video with this client, I'm actually making the sections just a little bit bigger with the flat iron. As you can see right here, I'm going to take this whole section. And normally if her hair was like, her strands were thicker, I probably would break this down into two. But just taking chunkier pieces, again, this gives more of that appearance that the hair is fuller. So maybe take that tip into consideration if you tend to have low density or just thin strands. Sometimes like using the larger sections with the flat iron to kind of, help you out, and it's still going to get straight. And then another tip is I'm using diagonal parts. I like to do diagonal parts when I do silk press because it just helps get it closer to the scalp. So I can really just do one pass. So that's what I'm doing here. Just going through and flat ironing her hair. And after I flat iron her hair, we're going to be seeing her hair on her trim. Now, we had a really good conversation about her hair and her trim. And I'll insert some of the conversation that we had about her hair and what's going on in the back of her hair. She had some thinning going on in the back at the very, very back row. So before I trimmed it, I always like to show my clients, y'all see me taking a picture of her hair. I always like to take a picture and see, and show them so they can see what's actually going on with their hair just before I just start chopping hair off. I always like my clients to be informed. Some of my clients, they have that level of trust and girl, just cut, we need to cut. But I still love to kind of keep that integrity with the client just so they can trust me more, so they can see oh, okay, this is what's going on. Look at that amazing shine on her hair. Yes, I know I sprayed the S3 spray, but really the shine comes from the shampoo bowl. I did a really, really good shampoo. I didn't put that clip in there, but I did the shampoo I used was the deep cleansing shampoo and the honey mimosa shampoo. These shampoos can be found on my website, lisasmiles.com. So I'm just finishing up this section with flat ironing her hair, just taking my time using one section. And the heat setting that I had this on was I want to say it was only 390 or 410. Sometimes with textures that might be thicker, I do have the temperature up to 450 and it's totally fine. But depending on the client and just knowing my client and their hair and how much heat they can take, the temperature does need to be adjusted. But again, if you're doing your silk press at home and you don't know what you're doing, do not take that flat iron up to 450. Okay, if you don't know what you're doing, because you'll wear your hair slam out. But for me, some of my clients, yes, I take the temperature up to 450. It doesn't damage their hair. Their hair still revert back. But again, I don't use that temperature setting on all my clients because their hair can't handle that. Or not that their hair can't handle it. Well, they can't. But some of my clients' hair just don't require all that heat for it to get straight. Especially when you did a good job with the blow dry. Because as you can see, I did a really good job with the blow dry. So I only have to do one pass. So this is the clip right here I'm going to insert about her trim. But right quick, before I insert the clip, I do try to put on a different color cape. So I switched her cape out. And as you can see, she got a trim from me 3 months ago. And as you can see, there's not a lot of see-through. It's just minimum see-through, and her problem issue was right there in the back. And just a quick tip, ladies, when you want to get your hair trimmed, I always try to remind my clients that make sure you're sitting straight up. Make sure you're not leaning to one side. If you have your foot on a stool, your feet are straight, because a lot of that affects your haircut and your trim. You want to make sure your posture is together, because that can really throw the trim off. So I'm just combing her hair down because I'm getting ready to take a picture for her and see what's going on. Then y'all see me combing this part over a couple of times because I was trying to figure out, is it a gap right there, or did I not have all the hair out? So I kept going back and combing it because I want to make sure, am I looking at this accurately? Because I see a gap. And so I was just really just trying to comb it and take an accurate picture just so I can show y'all, or I can show, her hair. And let's analyze and see what's going on with the back of her hair. What's going on right here, but you do got a little gappy area. So, but just really I can just kind of round it. That sound good? But it definitely don't look real bad. So
you had mentioned the middle before too.
And
I don't know if it's from the top of my head or from the back.
I think it's right in here because it's part of your hair. Let me turn it around. It's thinner, so that could probably be why it looks like it's a gap right there. Hold this for me. Okay, you got it at an angle. You can see the back of your hair. You can see the back. Let me come on this side because it's right here. You see it right in here?
Yeah, I see it.
So it's a little thinner in that part. So that probably where the hole is. So just make sure when you do your braids and stuff.
Yeah, that had to be from the faux locks.
And
it was irritated right there too.
What'd you say?
It was irritated.
It was irritated right there? Yeah.
It was tight and it was irritated. That's probably what it was.
I would just that time you get them, just maybe have her leave some of that out, or just make it looser, and just be more intentional with just do like scalp massages with oil back there, and they'll help it to get stronger and grow back. But other than that, your hair, it's a lot better than, like I said, I can see the improvement in your hair.
I can see it with how much hair came out when I combed it.
You had fairy knots, but it wasn't like, it was just a telltale sign that you had needed to trim. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like it's a lot. And this is where I want my clients to be. I don't want it to be like we got to do a big chop every time. Because if you take care of your hair and you're coming back, it should be minimal. And that's how you start to see hair growth. So y'all heard the conversation I had with my client. I didn't record her full trim. I know y'all only see me doing the perimeter, but I did part her hair and like go in between, up and through. I know sometimes y'all see a lot of stylists and we just cut around the perimeter, but that's really just like our base cut. That's really kind of like our guide. I definitely went in between and gave her a really thorough trim. But with this client, she had faux locks, and she was saying that the back of her head was like very irritated, and that's what explains that gap that I had seen in the back of her hair and what her hair loss was. So other than that, over the last 3 or 4 months since I seen her, she did really, really good with her hair, like I was telling her. Because again, if you're taking care of your hair, when it's time for a trim, it should not be a bit chop every time. And so I would just really just congratulating her and letting her know, like, hey, you've been doing a really good job with your hair. You know, keep on doing what you're doing. I have her on a schedule where she's coming back every quarter to get a trim, just based on what I analyzed from the first 3 months. Now, if it was worse, like if I seen like a big change, I would probably tell her she need to come in a little bit sooner. But based on how she been taking care of her hair, she is good with coming in quarterly. So again, when it comes to trimming hair, sometimes I don't always have like a basic answer. Sometimes it just really varies on the client and how you're taking care of your hair and how you're maintaining it. So if she keep on this path, she can just come quarterly to get that trim, because again, it was very minimum that needed to be trimmed off, and she's been doing a really good job. So I'm really proud of her, and I always love to, share, it's a small wins for me. So right here, I'm just really just doing like a little bump, you know what I'm saying? That's really all I'm doing. I'm just doing a bump. She didn't really want like a whole lot of curl because, she just really wanted to see her length, and that's okay. So I'm just taking a flat iron, as y'all see, and I'm just giving her a little bump, a little old school little bump or whatever. And so this is after all her bumps, and I'm going to take my wide tooth comb and, just comb out her curls. Like when you have your curls, like obviously she didn't have like a whole lot of curls. She just had enough just for like a little body or whatever. You also use like a wide tooth comb. I seen somebody making a huge mistake, like after they curled their hair with the flat iron or with the curlers, they took like a small tooth comb, and don't do that because you can kind of mess up what you just did. So just like a wide tooth comb, or you can just use your fingers to kind of take the, just fluff out the curls. That's really all you had to do. So I'm finishing up her silk press here. Now I did slick down her edges just a little bit. I don't always slick down the client's edges. Sometimes it's just by request, or, some of them care, some of them don't. So I don't always like slick the edges down with gel. So I'm using the Shine and Jam gel just to slick just a little bit of her edges down. And I'm literally just using just a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Slick her little baby edges down just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Give her a little razzle dazzle, just something slight, make her feel good about herself. And, just really just complete and polish the look. So I'm going to show y'all the end result of her hair and how it turned out. I was giving her some tips on how to maintain her silk press at night. She was asking me about the Velcro rollers, and I didn't encourage her to use those. I told her to get like some satin flexi rods if she just want to, flexi rod at night, or she can just wrap it. But I didn't encourage the Velcro rollers. I had to do more research on those, but it seemed like those Velcro rollers would be just a little bit too rough based on her hair type and her hair strands. So I just said, hey, you can do flexi rods or you can just do a wrap at night. Now I am taking some of this more this S3 spray, finishing spray, just to kind of like smooth her flyaways down and just to give her that extra shine. I mean, she really didn't need it, but I love to give them a little razzle-dazzle, make them feel good about themselves before they leave. All right, so we are finishing up. Here is the finished results of her silk press. It turned out she looked gorgeous. She was happy about her results, and I'm looking forward to her hair journey. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share if this video inspired you. See you in the next one. Bye.